Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. We're gonna do a reading wrap-up of sorts. Back in the day I would have done like a monthly one of these bad boys, but I am in such a reading slump that I am not reading very much at all. So this is just a general kind of reading wrap-up stuff that I have read over the past couple of months because it's been tough. It's been slow going, peeps. It's been slow going, I won't lie. I won't lie. I'm trying to get out of it, but it'll come when it comes. We know what it's like. We know what it's like. So I read a few things. Well, I may tell you about them. That's the point of the video. Okay. So first up we have The Modern Guide to Witchcraft, Your Complete Guide to Witches, Covens and Spells by Skye Alexander. So I am sort of getting into like witchcraft. I'm a baby witch. I've only been doing it for a few months, but I'm trying to read more about the craft and about methodologies, history, the various different types of witchcraft. So this one felt like a pretty solid place to start because it's basically kind of a bit of everything. It has your history, your types of witchcraft, crystal magic, herb magic, spells, and a grimoire at the back. It's just got pretty much everything. It is like a sort of step A to Z guide of everything that you kind of need to know, the basics of witchcraft. If you are an experienced witch and you've been doing this for years, this isn't going to be the book for you. But if you're just starting out or you're interested in learning about it, this is a really great place to start. I thought that it was really comprehensive. It had a little bit of everything and I found it incredibly useful, and I have done a couple of the spells and they did actually work. So yeah, I'm going to give this a solid 4 out of 5 because I think it really is a useful tool to beginner witches. So there's my little like non-fiction for the month. Next up we have The Yellow Wallpaper and Other Short Stories by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. I was mostly interested in reading The Yellow Wallpaper, but there's a few other little stories in here. I love these little black penguins. Not just because they look cute, because I do love the like vintage style penguin books. But they're also super cheap, so I was able to read these stories, you know, for like 80p, and I have to say The Yellow Wallpaper, oh, what a tale. I love it so much. I'm definitely going to have to read more of Charlotte's work. It takes place in a kind of like holiday retreat for a woman and her husband. She hasn't been feeling well. Evidently, you gather that it's to do with mental health issues. She's had a bit of a breakdown, essentially. She's got depression. Her husband's a doctor, and he doesn't necessarily believe her about the extent of what she's feeling, and she's kind of hiding a lot about it because if your husband's a doctor and you've got other family members who are doctors and they're saying there's nothing wrong with you, you just need some rest, you're fine, then you should just take some rest. But there is something wrong with her, and she starts to sort of unravel because of the yellow wallpaper in the room that she's in. It's curling and coming off the walls, and it has strange patterns in it, and she starts to see things moving, a person, another woman, in the wallpaper, behind the wallpaper, that only kind of moves when it thinks nobody's looking, and she sees it shifting in between the patterns. So it's sort of an exploration of mental health, of that descent into kind of madness, the feeling of being trapped when nobody sort of believes what you're going through, and how that plays on your mind, the kind of mania that creates. It's a really, really well written place. It's a classic gothic horror, in line with like Turn of the Screw and Shirley Jackson, The Haunting of Hill House and stuff like that. It's up there with that. So I really, really enjoyed it. The other short stories in it were just as good as well. I really, really liked her style of writing, and I definitely want to read more by this author, so I recommend that. And like I said, it's like pennies to read. Next up we have Later by Stephen King. I will be doing a separate video on this for you guys with a full and in-depth review, but for the short version, it's about a boy called Jamie who can see dead people, and thanks to his mum's ex-girlfriend, who in the beginning is a police officer, but at the end ends up just a full-blown drug addict, and who's been very unceremoniously kicked out of the police for being a dirty cop. and she kind of enlists his help for a couple of things, whether he likes it or not. The first time he kind of helps willingly, the second time she just outright kidnaps him. So it's him dealing with that, trying to be a normal kid, seeing dead people, this woman dragging him into the criminal underbelly and danger, murder. And then there's also a being, something that is capable of possessing dead people, because these ghosts, when you see them, they fade away after a few days and go to wherever they end up. But this ghost keeps hanging around and keeps bugging Jamie and haunting Jamie. And he realizes it's not the ghost, it's something inside the ghost, it's something possessing the ghost, which is revealed through the book. Spoiler alert, skip a few seconds ahead if you don't want to hear, but it's a dead light in line with it. So this thing and Jamie end up kind of linked together through events. That's sort of rough summary. Did I like it? Yes, I loved it. I'm a big Stephen King fan. He's one of my favorite authors, and I genuinely loved the book. It's horror and crime coming together. He does that really, really well. He does crime well, he does horror well, and when you put them together, it's like a perfect mix. Did I think it was perfect? No. The ending is so abrupt. It just is wrapped up really quickly, and you genuinely are left like, I kept thinking more was going to come, and it doesn't. You don't get much about the deadlight at all. It doesn't feature very heavily, unfortunately, and I would have loved more of that. And also there's a reveal at the end, which is utterly pointless and adds nothing at all to the book in any way, shape, or form. So it just left me like a little bit like, okay, thanks for that. So yeah, but still a really good read. A quick read if you're not going through a reading slump like me. And a solid King book. You know, he's really good at what he does. There's no getting away from it. So solid 4 out of 5 for that one. Charlotte's getting 5 out of 5 for this. I really enjoyed that. You know what I'm like? I'm a sucker for a gothic horror, guys. I love me a classic. Next up, it's an ebook only. It is by my dear friend Regina St. Clair. She wrote a novella called Snowblind. It is about a girl going to like a winter holiday cabin home in the snow, and she's going there with her abusive husband, her little sister who suffers from like learning difficulties and issues, mental health issues, and her best friend who is also her lover. And her best friend / lover and her have formulated a plan that when they get to the mountain cabin, they're going to kill the abusive husband, get rid of him. They've got this whole plan in place because he's just the most awful person in the world and he needs gone. But when they get to the cabin, they realize that he's not the only monster out there. Dun, dun, dun! I'm not going to spoil it, but there's like a twist, things happen, stuff is revealed. I really enjoyed it. It's a very quick, fun winter read. It would be perfect for winter. It's actually snowing right now, even though it is spring here, but okay. But yeah, quick, fun read. Regina's a really, really good writer and a fantastic booktube channel as well. I'll link her down below if you haven't seen her before. She's fantastic. You should definitely check her out. So I'm going to have to give it a solid 4 out of 5 as well. I really enjoyed it. But that's it. That's all I've read for like months. I am most of the way through Grady Hendrix's My Best Friend's Exorcism. So I need to finish that. I'll put that in the next wrap up. But yeah, not the best. Not the most amount of reading going on there at all, really. I'm hoping I will come out of this slump eventually, but I'm just going to keep on keeping on, guys. That's all you can do. You just got to keep on trucking. Keep on swimming, as Dory would say. Can you tell I'm a parent? But that's me for now. If you could subscribe to my channel, I would really, really appreciate it, guys. I love meeting all of you, and your support means the world to me. If you've read any of these books or have recommendations similar to these books that you think I would like, please comment down below. I would love to know your thoughts about these and other similar books. I always love your recommendations. And just like and comment so I can get to know you, because that's what this is all about. It's meeting new friends and new like-minded people. And that's me for now. So come back again soon for another wrap up in 6 months or so.